Hi there, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Nick's Tears here on Not First Things First, because obviously this is not First Things First. And today we're going to be looking at the top characters in Resident Evil. We're only doing the protagonists, the ones that you play as. There are some that are left out on this list because they're in games that it really don't matter. They're not coming back. They don't even deserve to be on this list. Let's be real. They're not real contenders. Not for the crown of the Resident Evil franchise. They're just not even in the same stratosphere of these other characters that are going to appear on this list. So, without further ado, let's get the tiers rolling out. So, first up in our first tier, we have the forgotten characters. They have some relevance, but Capcom forgets that they exist. That they've ever existed. And they've each had an appearance at least in one mainline game. And of course, that is my man Billy, my other girl Rebecca, and, well, did I say my other girl? Whatever. You know what? It don't matter. Billy, Rebecca, and Helena. All three characters that most of you probably don't know, or maybe you do know. But Capcom seems to have forgotten they existed. So now we'll roll up into the next tier, and that is going to be they just can't come back. There's no way they exist. There's just no way that they can. Like, let's not bring them back. Let's not do that. And that is Steve, Ethan, and Pierce. All three for very obvious reasons as to why they cannot come back, and I'm not going to spoil it. And if they do come back, there's some pretty good reasons as to why that's a problem. Just saying. Alright, now we'll move up to the next tier, and this one's all by himself. And he's in the not favorites tier in that I never see anyone mention him among their favorites, but he's a good character. He was just in a game. He's not technically written out, but I feel like Capcom wants to use him for something. And that is, of course, Carlos. Now we'll move in to the next tier. And these characters you will see most likely in remakes, and only remakes. I doubt they will make another appearance in any mainline game, just by the pure virtue of being characters that Capcom wants to pretend don't exist. I mean, it seems to be a common theme amongst this list, but that is Ashley, Sherry, and Sheva. Those three characters, they're just not going to exist unless outside of remakes. There's no way that they will. I'm sorry. I want them to. I really do. I want to see Sheva again. I want to see Sherry again. And I want to see Ashley again. Outside of remakes, of course. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now we'll move up to our next tier. The will return maybe. And that means they're characters that exist and Capcom likes them, likes to use them. There's good chances that they'll return, possibly. And that is going to be Barry, Claire, Jake, and of course, Rose. All four of these characters deserve to be in this tier because I feel like they will return, strong contenders to come back and be the absolute best of the best characters. Now we'll move up to the tier above that, which is the Prince Money. That means if they're in the game will print money. And that is a proven fact. And that is why these characters keep getting reused over and over and over again. And of course it is three of probably the four most popular. Ada, Jill, and Leon. Of course, Leon has the RE4 remake coming out. Jill just is Jill. Everyone wants Jill. And Ada is Ada. As long as Leon exists, Ada exists, because Capcom likes to put those two together without them actually being together. Not sure what the problem is with doing that, but hey, whatever. If they like the tension, more power to them. Next, we'll go to the next tier, which is below the top tier. It is basically your strongest contender for being the best of the best. And that is, of course, a character that Capcom will never let rest, ever. They will put him in every possible game they can possibly think of. Chris Redfield. Now, of course, I have no problem with that. Chris is amazing. He is, by far, one of the best characters in Resident Evil. If only if only some of the other characters got the same push Chris did, I think a lot of the characters would be a lot more beloved. Then we move up to, of course, the number one character that has ever existed in any Resident Evil, and I don't want to hear any slander, and that is, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are by far, they are goated. That is why they are in the goated tier. They're the Chiefs. They are, without a doubt, the best Resident Evil character. I mean, if you think about it, they have the combination of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce all in one. Not to mention that offensive line, defensive line, I mean, they're unbeatable. I don't think there's any team in the world that could possibly beat them at being the best Resident Evil. That is me, of course, stating my opinion, and the committee also agreed with me because we put this together. If you don't agree with this, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's just objectively right. That's just how it is. I mean, if it's not right, why is my last name right, you know? It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I know you want your team to be up there. I know you want Steve. I know you want Billy. But I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Kansas City Chiefs all the way. They are going to the Super Bowl. They are going to the Super Bowl of Resident Evil characters, where they will most likely take on Chris Redfield, and they will beat them. They will beat him in pretty convincing fashion. But, you know, before we began the year, a lot of people doubted the Chiefs would even be here, but here we are. And what do you know? I'm sitting here with my smug face because I called this, because I am the greatest predictor ever, even though I've been wrong on many things, but that's just me. And of course, these tiers are just how it's going to be. So, yeah. If you don't agree, you know, you're wrong. The committee got it right. You can disagree, agree, whatever. That's just how it is. And that is this installment of Nick's Tiers. And we look forward to next week's when it is still going to be Kansas City on top.